part interview, part commentary track, all podcast. Watching RoboCop with Kid Power. Our very special guest, Johnny Mains. Hello everybody, welcome back. Welcome to Watching RoboCop with Kid Power, episode 19. Oh my god. As you can probably tell from my voice, I've had somewhat of an interesting little period of time. Hey, you know what? Let's start with an apology. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get this episode to you. I actually recorded this conversation with the redoubtable Johnny Mains some time ago. I've found it incredibly hard to get the elbows out and make time necessary to record the introduction text that you're listening to right now and get the episode out. And I am sorry for that because I know you enjoyed the show and you're impatient to hear my episodes. I'm impatient to get them to you. A combination of life events and some quite wonderful writing issues have led to me not being able to prioritize the show as much as I'd like, but I'm really, really happy that you've stuck with it, and I'm incredibly proud to be delivering this episode to you today. On the subject of the writing news, I am recording this in my hotel room at the British Fantasy Society Convention 2018 in Chester, which is why I'm using my indoor voice. And indeed why it sounds so scratchy, because I've done 3 panels in the last 3 days, I've done 2 book signings, and I've interviewed Stephen Volk on camera, which is absolutely wonderful, and that will be appearing on a Ginger Nuts of Horror website fairly soon. On that subject, talking about publishing news, obviously, New Fears 2 was launched here, and we actually sold out, which is phenomenal news. Great British Horror Volume 3, For Those in Peril, was also released, which features my short story. So I was very excited to be signing copies of that this weekend. So yeah, things are going really well, and I've got a novella draft that's nearly ready to be sent to a publisher who's very interested in publishing it. The only thing I'm really frustrated about is the novel that I've been writing with James Murphy has had to be on the back burner, but I'm keen to get back to that now the madness of FCon has passed. So that's a very long-winded way of saying, I guess, there's plenty of Kit Power stuff out there, and plenty more coming soon. So again, thank you so much for your support and patience. But I promise you there's some good stuff coming down the pipeline, and I always come away from FCon feeling fired up. But anyway, enough about me and the publishing. Who have we got on the show? We've got Johnny fucking Mains. That's who we've got on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Johnny's a guy I met, funny enough, at another convention at Edgelit a couple of years ago. And he's one of the things that happens with conventions sometimes is you meet people, whether they're writers or editors or bloggers or whatever. And Johnny's are both a very impressive writer of fiction and non-fiction, and an amazing editor, and you just click with them. There's an instant connection, and Johnny's one of those guys. I consider him now to be an incredibly dear friend. I value his friendship incredibly highly, and I feel very grateful to have him in my life. And so I was absolutely thrilled when he agreed to sit down and watch RoboCop with me. It was just a treat. It was everything I want the show to be. It was me sitting down watching one of my favorite movies with one of my favorite people, and just having a chat. And Johnny's a man with opinions, and he's a man with a sense of humor, and you're going to get both of those in abundance as you listen to this podcast. So in particular, listen out for Johnny expanding on, when asked about the greatest movie ever made, explaining that RoboCop is no Showgirls, which of course is an entirely correct observation. Also, the fact that this is the first time I've had a guest actually watch the film on VHS. Perhaps one might argue as God intended. Certainly as I first watched it, so that was a real treat. We discussed the genius of Nancy Allen, the RoboCop Night of the Living Dead connection, the awesomeness of Kurtwood Smith and Ray Wise, some interesting speculation about how many partners Lewis may have lost over the years, the Green Cross Code, and David Prowse makes an appearance, as does the Richard Nixon connection. WWA fans, listen out for that. Johnny's got an amazing story about Nixon. What story about Nixon? Hey, you know what? Why am I still talking to you? Why don't we just go and join Johnny and hear what he has to say? Let's do that. I'll catch you on the flip side. So it is my great pleasure to welcome to the show Johnny Mains. Johnny, how you doing, my man?
How are we doing?
I am so chuffed to have you with me. We've been talking about doing this for it could be at least a year. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's well over 12 months.
We're so such a lazy bastard.
busy bastards.
Busy bastards, right? Yes.
Yeah, we're busy, man. It's okay, but we got it done. I'm really happy. So, I'll start with the 5 questions, the same 5 questions I ask every guest. So, question number 1, Johnny, how old were you when you first saw RoboCop?
probably about 15 or 16. And it was probably around the same time that I saw Hellraiser. So we used to, at high school, we used to steal the television video player from the geography department or the history department. We would wheel it through to a very disused room, turn the lights off, video. So I watched a pirate copy of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that came from Spain on there. We watched Bad Taste, Bad Taste. Pet Sematary, Stephen King's Pet Sematary, directed by Mary Lambert. And then obviously Robocop and others. Yes, it was a great time to be alive.
Sounds good.
Whatever it was. Yeah.
So where did you get the, and this is not one of the questions, but I'm curious, where did you get the actual VHS tapes from then? Was that friends or did you rent them? Or?
I had a friend called Stuart whose dad used to go to Spain quite a lot. He was an attaché with like the British Embassy. So he used to actually bring a lot of the tapes back. He would take PAL VHS across and he would get them copied for him onto his tapes. And then he would bring them back. And because he was under the impression that he couldn't get tapes from Europe to kind of play in VHSs over here. I think it was like the Australian syndrome that he had in his head, the American syndrome. So we kind of watched all of these amazing we watched all the films before they came out, or when they were out at the cinema. So like we were doing it 20 odd years before this heathen lot of fucking streamers were doing it. So it was fun.
So it's the analog version of streaming. I like it. Excellent.
Yeah, most of them were in black and white. So first time I ever saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was in black and white. First time I ever saw Clockwork Orange was on a Hookie video, and that was in black and white as well. Wow. And nobody was more surprised than I was when I finally got to see it, and it was a color film, even though you were reading books about film and the stills were in color. But the first time I ever watched Clockwork Orange on a color film, it was just fucking mind blowing. So yes, right.
So question number two: how many times have you seen RoboCop?
Over the years, probably about 20, I think. Okay. 20 and 20 years, so maybe one time a year. Nice. 2 times a year. It's not a film that I am obsessively, oh shit, the film's just started again. Let me pause it. Can you explain why?
Well, we'll get there in a second, actually, because we'll talk about formats before we hit play properly.
Okay. So sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
I'm having to do this on video, but we'll all explain in a bit.
Yeah.
So I've not been obsessive about the film. As much as I love Paul Verhoeven, and especially what was that film that he did? Was it Black Book? Schwarzer Book, the war film that he did.
Okay.
What was it? Oh, with her from Game of Thrones. Oh, what's that called? Yeah, I saw that. Brilliant film, and Starship Troopers and all that vajazzle. Yeah. But anyhow, yeah.
Okay, so 20 odd times though. That's a pretty good score.
It's just a film that whenever it comes on, you just always sit down and watch it. You don't kind of you never turn it off. You will always go, yeah, I know I'm in a safe pair of hands. Very, very good film. It's not Showgirls, but hey, let's just go for it. I'm not able to wank over Elizabeth Berkley in this film, but yes, it is what it is. If you do wank over Paul Weller, you're a sick person, but I understand. So yeah, people love robots.
Hey, it takes all sorts. So question number 3 then. When was the last time you saw RoboCop?
A couple of years ago. Not going to lie. I'm going to lie because I briefly skimmed through it not that long ago, just to kind of remind myself of the thing of how the film goes. But the last time I properly watched it was with the missus a couple of years ago, and curry, couple of beers, sit down, have a very, very entertaining time. Always laugh when Ed 209 falls down the stairs. It's not learned anything from the Daleks. It's fun. It's fun. Yes.
Magic. Okay. Question number 4. I can't emphasize enough that there are no wrong answers to this question, and I'm lying when I say that. Why do you, Johnny Mains, think RoboCop is the greatest movie ever made?
Because it has Nancy Allen in it.
That's a
Nancy
fantastic
Allen,
answer.
I
Yeah.
think, is one of our most underrated actresses of all time. Whether John Travolta and Blowout, Carrie, the Brian De Palma film she made. I absolutely fucking love her as an actress, and I do not know why she kind of went on a bit of a downward trajectory, but RoboCop was the peak of her acting, and she should be celebrated, if only for that.
Yeah, I can't argue with that at all. Absolutely. So finally, if you could let everyone know which version of RoboCop we're watching tonight.
Well, I'm watching it on VHS. Yes. So I've got the 1989 Virgin Film Collection, theatrical cut, of course.
Yep.
So running time 98 minutes. The Orion Pictures, and it was sold from, where was this one? John Menzies, John Mingus.
Wow.
For £9.99. And this is the copy, man.
See, this is a genuine first for me. I've watched this. I've not yet watched this with someone watching it on VHS, so I'm really thrilled about it, because obviously that's how I first saw it.
Fantastic. So. Right, are we ready? Tell me when.
So so what I'm going to do, for those of you who are playing along at home, and if you are playing along at home, what better way to spend your time? You're a fantastic human being. Revel in your own brilliance. We're about to start watching RoboCop, so I will count backwards from 5, and when I get to 0, Johnny and I will hit play, and we'll be watching the film together. So, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go Robo.
Wow, look at this. Right.
So just so as you know, those of you playing along, we've started with the Orion Pictures logo, and we're now straight into the movie. So
so zing,
there we go. RoboCop.
Have you ever found out what font that is?
I think it was created for the film. I'm almost certain. I've never found it anywhere else.
I've never seen it since, apart from RoboCop. So, but exactly. It should be something that should be on the header of every single bloody headed notepaper. Right, here we go. Right.
Okay, so we start with I love this, man, the fake news. Because this is the thing about this is, like, in pure storytelling terms, how smart this is. This is world building. But it's giving you so much background about the future that you're in. I think the idea of using the news to set, because that's the biggest challenge with sci-fi, right? Is explaining to the people watching what the world that you're watching looks like. What's the same and what's different. I think this is one of the most elegant ways of doing that I've ever seen.
And the great thing about this as well is that, because it leads straight in with nuclear fear and nuclear terror. Yeah. It's now a thing that has still, as we speak, never gone away. We know that Trump and Kim have had a bit of a Dutch rudder in the last couple of days, where they've been kind of, mutually masturbating each other. But it's just, this film heralds the era of fake news, of, kind of the medical horror, and it's just extraordinary how much this film is still relevant today. While it may have aged, it hasn't aged.
Yeah, and I think it's funny, the fake news thing is particularly interesting because the film itself predates Fox News, and yet it predicts it. Yes. Because the news broadcasts are clearly corporate news, aren't they?
Yeah, and this Richard Jones and all that. This film, I think, is very similar in a kind of way to The Running Man, the Arnold Schwarzenegger film, with the same kind of, the evil corporation and, the kind of the woebegone and kind of rising up against the man. It was that era of, the 80s and 90s, was that era of filmmaking where these films were kind of, out there. You got The Terminator as well. With your man going up against the corporation and the machine. God, I suppose even Blade Runner in a way.
Yeah, you could. I mean, that's certainly like the power of the corporations and the power of the billionaires, and that is very much it's a very strong theme, isn't it? It's funny that, though, because those films are all, I mean, for all that you've highlighted a really strong thread that connects them all, they're all very different tonally. That's fascinating to me. Like,
definitely, Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Sorry, he's not my favorite, and this, Naked Lunch for me is the ultimate Mr. Weller film. He's just, he's just perfect in that. David Cronenberg's, but he's, you know, you could never imagine. I know that one of the original writers wants to reboot this RoboCop. He wants to do, you know, like almost a natural sequel to this film, but
Right.
you can never do it without Weller's voice.
I don't see how. I don't see
You
how. It's
know,
absolutely
you can have
incredible.
another actor in it, not a problem. But unless
Sure.
it had, you know, unless it had Weller in it, it would just, yeah, it would never happen. Look at that. That is an 80s beer belly.
That's
Beautiful.
yeah.
That's bigger than mine.
I thought they would. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there are minimum fitness tests for cops as well. So I don't know how that guy's managing to get that done. That looks,
Yeah, but like, well, if you remember, God, what was that thing? That really famous cop series with
is it Hill Street Blues?
NYPD Blue, NYPD Blue.
NYPD. Yeah.
You know, there were really big fat detectives in there as well, weren't there? So
That's
yeah,
true. Sifowitz was not a small man. No, that's true. I remember. But no, I mean, Weller's incredible. You were talking about his voice. I think the other thing that kind of people often don't realize with this movie is how incredible his movement is.
And it's a slow movement. It's not fast. It's almost like a kind of theatrical, you know, kind of emphasizing every single movement. And robots today, well, even if you go back to Terminator, it was too fast. Even though it was jittery and clunky, it was still a very fast robot. With a RoboCop, Weller's performance is considered, it's concise.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's almost, this might sound a bit daft, but it's almost like the zombies from the Night of the Living Dead. It doesn't matter how slow they go, they will always get you in the end. And it's exactly like Weller, you know. There she is.
Here she is.
Oh, she's such a bad motherfucker in this film.
It's a brilliant entrance to it. I mean, that is such a great way in. Yeah. I love the way she leans back for a second when she measures up that last punch, knocking down. It's so great.
But yeah, no, going back to the Night of the Living Dead, it's like, you know, you can run as fast from zombies. You know, Barbara does it herself, but the zombies will always catch up to it. And that's exactly the way that I think, you know, kind of Weller uses his his moments and movements.
I mean, the other thing you made me think of there was Westworld, right? Because that's the thing about Brenner. He's not fast, but he's relentless.
But he is relentless, and he will keep on pursuing till he gets his, gets his man. Yes.
Yeah.
And now they've been, you know, oh, look at that, and up the ramp.
Oh,
how many films have had police cars going up ramps? And I bet in the real life American kind of police stations, they don't even have ramps.
Probably
they just have a small incline. Instead of ascending, they just go down very, very gently. Miguel Ferrer, he died not that long ago, didn't he?
He did.
And he was amazing in The Stand, where he played Lloyd, didn't he? Lloyd.
Yes, he did. Yeah, and he was. Yeah, he was really good in that. Yeah,
and that was one of my favorite roles of his, because he was just, he's always played kind of slimy characters. Has he ever been in a film where he played a half decent person?
He's never. No, as I mentioned on a previous podcast, he's never been the romantic lead. Bless him. But
but he's it because he's a good-looking chap.
Yeah, he's not unhandsome, is he? He's quite striking, but yeah, he is. He's a handsome man. I just think he's so good at this. I mean, in The Stand, the character of The Stand at least was very sympathetic. I mean, actually, I think that's what he's good at. He's good at flawed but sympathetic characters.
Yeah,
because this guy is not, the character he's playing in this movie is not a good person. He's an amoral corporate weasel, but he's kind of sympathetic.
He's evil through and through, isn't he?
But at least he's sympathetic next to Dick Jones, because he's just, evil incarnate, really.
But yeah, the funny thing about him as well was that I think he wasn't in about 3 or 4 Stephen King adaptations as well. I know he was definitely in The Night Flyer, and I think he was also in The Shining and The Stand. But I don't know if he's in. And it wasn't, sorry, Lloyd Kaufman. I said Lloyd Kaufman. It was Lloyd Heinrich.
Right.
Lloyd Kaufman is the trauma director. But yeah, so he's he's properly had his genre wings on his arms. So yeah, it's
well, of course, Twin Peaks.
Yeah, well, of course, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I loved him in Twin Peaks, man. He was because he was so horrible in Twin Peaks, and yet you still liked him, even though he was mercilessly unpleasant to everybody. He was still so likable.
And I think the last things he did, he kind of was, you know, he was in Desperate Housewives as well, wasn't he? I remember him popping up in that for like about 8 or 9 episodes, and he was always, you know, he always popped up in things you'd be like, ah, yes, dependable character actor. Here we go. You know that you're gonna, you know, be good with him. And you know, I think even right up until the death, he was never, you know, he was never bad.
No, and he did. I mean, I remember him in Hot Shots Part Deux as well. He was wonderful in that. Really good. Great.
Oh my god, yeah, Hot Shots. Hot Shots Part 2 is on Netflix at the moment, and I was going to watch Hot Shots. I actually was going to find a copy, but man, Charlie Sheen, he's just ruined 80s films for me and everything. Oh, here we go. Right, Ed 209.
Ed 209.
Ray Harryhausen. He must have been so proud when he saw this clunking onto the screen.
You'd think, wouldn't you?
You know, If it wasn't for Jason and the Argonauts, motherfuckers, you'd never have this.
And I love how well stop frame works for robotics.
Yeah.
Because robots are kind of inherently kind of a bit jerky and weird anyway. They move strangely. So actually, it's a perfect melding of like the effects with the fiction, I think. Oh, God.
Look at that.
What a piece of design, though. And I love how everyone's like, I wasn't scared, you were scared, I wasn't scared. So great.
And the funny thing about him is that he does, you know, apart from the guns and stuff, he does kind of look quite friendly. He's got a nice open mouth. It's not too. He looks like he looks like the bloody alien, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Xenomorph. Yeah, I've never noticed that before, but he's properly got the xenomorph head about him.
Yeah, it's that smooth dome, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the length and shape of it as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic. Oh, Mr. Kenny.
Oh. All right. Okay, motherfucker. Oh, yeah, I'm putting that out.
I think you better do it.
There we go. But see, in this age, that would have been live streamed to all over the world, and the live streaming would be the last thing that would ever be pulled. You would have been killed live on air. It'd be on YouTube within a second, and you could tell that, you know, that corporation would. Oh man, look at those blood bags go! Oh, did you see the blood bag fall out the back of his shirt there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They used a ridiculous amount of squibs.
Would be no more.
Yeah, no, that's it. They would be done, wouldn't they?
So we have learned the mistakes from our past. I love how the smoke just comes out there. Oh my god, that's amazing.
And I remember seeing that at 11, and I just remember being absolutely like both horrified and incredibly amused at the same time. It was a really odd cocktail of feelings, you know.
Yeah, and it's still, you know, yeah, somebody's died, but it's still a really, really, really funny scene.
Oh, it's hilarious. But it's the fact it just doesn't stop shooting, right? I mean, that's what makes it, you know.
Oh.
Here we go.
And I love the power play here as well.
Yeah. Well, it's what I like about this, again, it's the efficiency of the storytelling. You're learning about these characters, but you're also advancing the plot at the same time.
Yeah.
It's really smart. It's really smart filmmaking.
So it's show and tell at the same time.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I mean, you know, as a writer, you talk about that, particularly with a short story. Like almost every sentence in a short story has to be pulling double duty if you're going to get it done in 3,000 or 4,000 words, right? But the more I think about it, the more I'm impressed with elegant storytelling in general. I mean, the fact that this movie is, like you said at the beginning, it's what is it, like an hour and 40? They cram so much story into an hour and 40, you know, and it's because of stuff like that. They don't piss about.
none of it's verbose, you know, and it's straight to the point. They've cut all the flab off it, and you know, even stuff like this now, where he's fucking about with his gun, you know, shows the Western roots of, you know, what he feels that a cop is, and B, you know, how that transfers across when he is ultimately RoboCop as well. You know, he's still got that, you know, fundamental humanism about him, even when he is, you know, part machine, all cop.
Yeah, I mean, it looks in the moment like a character moment, and it works on that level. But you're right; it also becomes a massive plot point. It's how Nancy starts to, you know, it's how Nancy Allen's character starts to put it together. Like, oh right, that's Murphy. You know, I love it. You know, and it's you see it done badly, and that's when you start to realize how special it is to see it done.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go. And he's a fucking great actor as well.
Yes,
absolutely, fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Oh God, what's his name? Kurtwood
Smith. Yeah.
Yeah, Kurtwood Smith, and he's just But him as well. What's his name?
Ray Wise.
Ray Wise. That's it. He's both you know, actors that have had incredible, and him.
The driver.
He got crushed by a fucking helicopter.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
First of all, he lost his arm, and then he gets fucking killed by a helicopter. It's amazing.
Yeah, he lost his arm to the same helicopter, by the way. Fucking mental.
Oh, which was ER at its absolutely most, you know, kind of, You know, was it like, did they just have enough of him? You know, did they just not like him as an actor anymore? Is he that much of a fucking arsehole? He must have read the script and gone, yeah, I'm probably not going to act again for about 3 years.
That was just nuts. I don't even. I mean, when you get to season 9 of anything, something's got to give, I guess. But
yeah, and I've started to watch. It's quite weird because I've started to watch ER and Casualty from the start at the same time.
Wow.
And it's
Casualty, man. That's an odyssey. That fucking thing.
Well, you know, Casualty will, you know, kind of keep on going and going and going. But it is lovely and quaint to see Charlie back in the early days, and you know, obviously George Clooney and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, and also what's his name, who played Goose in Edwards.
I can't remember the actor's name, but I know what you mean, because he's Green, right?
I can't remember his name, but he was also in Pet Sematary 2. He played Edward Furlong's dad in Pet Sematary 2. So yes. And he played Mark in ER, who died of, I think it was a brain tumor or something. So
yeah, Dr.
So this was filmed in Dallas, wasn't it? But it was supposed to be Detroit.
Right.
Yeah. I wonder if this is still standing. It's probably been blown up long ago.
It's an amazing location, though. This, isn't it? Absolutely.
You know, to get that as a set is just you know, it'd be anybody's gift, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, but it's so perfect, like as a metaphor for Detroit as well. You know, the decay of manufacturing.
Yeah.
It's so good.
General Motors, all that jazz. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's fantastic.
And it's really funny because the inside of this warehouse also, you know, could be. Remember Christine, the film, where they're making all the, you know, the automobiles and stuff, and Christine turns bad. You know, you could imagine it being, you know, something like, you know, like where that was filmed. So yeah, it's it's very evocative.
But I also love how different it is when you revisit this place at the close of the film. I mean, when I was a kid, I watched this film a lot of times. I didn't even clock that it was the same place.
Did you know?
No, because it's shot completely differently at the end. It's all outdoors and it's all widescreen, whereas this is all claustrophobic and dingy, you know. Which again, I just think is phenomenal filmmaking. Oh, jeez. This is the one moment in the film I'm not a huge fan of, I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
It's like, because she's so good.
Of course you look at your cock. Fuck off. No.
You know what I mean? Exactly. It's like, no. I mean, we've just seen they've got co-ed showers. You know what I mean? Yeah. Surrounded by like naked cop cock every fucking day. You think she gives a shit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunate, but there you go.
But then it is Paul Verhoeven that we're talking about.
It is Paul Verhoeven and it is 87, so what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Nothing is perfect.
Look at that fucking hair. Isn't that amazing?
It's absolutely amazing.
He's like Keith Flint from The Prodigy gone severely wrong.
Gone really, yeah, it's gone ginger and bad.
Yeah, I'm bald. Probably what Keith Flint looks like now, to be honest.
Yeah, probably is, to be fair.
Look at that.
Here we go. You see the detail of the television screen exploding behind him, like the slug's gone through the bad guy and blown up the TV. God damn.
But then, is he... Look... Wait a minute. Oh, here she comes.
Yep.
She's amazing.
Yeah. And that's a full-on shit your pants moment, isn't it? Oh dear. This I think Weller fucking nails this scene, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a big part of why this scene works as well as it does. Because it's easier playing a villain. You know, you've got your shotgun, all you got to do is look mean and scary. But Weller, he's got to look. Just it all goes on in his face, and his face barely moves, and yet he expresses so much in this push zoom. Oh, fucking hell, man!
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is he wearing a
Smith? Look at him, huh?
Looks like he's wearing a snood.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. Oh. Sinister as fucking easy. Jesus. He sells the pain too well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
See, and this, like, I mean, this is a big, like, macho action movie, but this sequence, this is fucking scary. This is like horror movie stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
And he's still being tender to him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Might not think he doesn't mean it, but holding his hand, you know, holding his head and stuff. Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Oh God.
This is cops don't like me.
It's brutal. It's so brutal.
Oh,
shot, man.
Fucker.
Oh yeah.
Give the man a hand. We shouldn't be laughing at this.
We really shouldn't, but you know, we've seen this like, you know,
Yeah.
it's that effect shot is amazing because the hand does actually fly off the top of the screen. You know, you see it go. It's brutal stuff. Oof.
Oh man.
Yeah. It's horrible. But isn't it weird? Like, we've just watched this execution with Kenny and it was funny. This is just not funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wasn't that one of the big lines of like the 80s? I remember saying that to all like my schoolmates going, does it hurt? Does it hurt?
Yeah. No, it's brutal.
And then shot in the head, but he's still not dead.
Well, you know, spoilers, he's on the way, but yeah.
Yeah. He's on the way.
Oh,
oh man.
Horror show. Absolute horror show.
Well, the thing is, she's at fault. She could have started firing at them as she was looking. She'd have been able to squeeze a few through that fucking screen. She just could be asked, oh, I'll just watch him die. It's all right. You know, I'll just watch him be shot. I wouldn't try and stop it at all.
Yeah, I think her character's actions are a little constrained by what the plot needs to happen in the first 20 minutes of the film. It's a little unfortunate, really. But I do like the way she ignores it for the rest of the film and just acts like a total badass. I think that's commendable.
It's almost as if she's had tons and tons and tons of partners dying before he has.
Yeah, maybe.
I was just like, oh, what number is this? On number 10. Oh,
not
fuck
another one. Fuck it.
And the rest of the police squad just totally don't want to be partnered with her because she's like the woman on the ship almost. You never have a woman on the ship. It's bad luck.
Well, that's right. They're all like, yeah, because Murphy's a new transfer, right? That's all like, yeah, put Murphy with him, man. He's just got here. Fuck it. We don't know him.
Oh man. Oh.
And this sequence, man, this is just...
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. All the, the POV shots and the flashbacks and the... I mean, you said you've been rewatching ER, so you've seen a lot of shit lately. But yeah, it's so well put together.
Look at this. Oh, and what is that? Ding, ding, ding. TJ Laser, TJ Hooker, amazing.
Yeah, no, it's like the futuristic TJ Hooker, yeah. So who would you cast if you were casting TJ Laser? Who would you cast in the William Shatner role? That's the... I don't even know.
Who would you do it? I'd want somebody really against type and really kind of weird and a bit. I'd probably want Tommy Wiseau.
Nice.
From the room. It'd have to be done, you know what I mean? He would even make a really good Robocop. No! I'll tell you what, the special effects in this.
Yeah.
Was Rob Bottin just responsible for the robot effects, or was he responsible for all the practical effects as well?
I don't know, man. I don't know enough about... I mean, I just watched the damn film. I don't know enough about the details of the making.
You don't know enough about it? All right, fair enough.
But the special... Yeah, but you're right. The effects work is just phenomenal throughout. It's absolutely incredible.
Here we go.
And again, the storytelling here, right? Like, the first time you watch, it's like, what the hell is going on right now?
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant.
But I've always it's kind of weird that they kind of twist the lens of him.
Yeah, what is that?
You know what I mean? It's like, what are they actually twisting? Because his visor goes across him like that.
Yeah. Well, and later on we see he's actually got eyes, right? I mean, he's got...
So there is no lens.
I mean, I don't know. I think my reading on it is that the eyes that he's got are fake, and that there's actually like they're
actually twisting one of the eyes.
Yeah.
But even then, you would have to split screen it. So one of the eyes were twisting.
Yeah.
Half of the visual were twisting. So yeah.
Well, I mean, if you really want to get fan wanky, it's that they've only fitted one eye to start with, and that's the one to do. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, it doesn't quite work.
Not that I'm trying to tear holes on it. I just find these...
Hey, don't mess with my movie, man. I love all that. I love all that, the detail, like that line of text on the side of the screen in like green computer writing.
And then he's watching his own arm.
Yeah. Oh, it's brutal, isn't it? I love how happy that woman is. Look how she's trying not to smile at one of the right.
You tried to like squeeze my ass the other day, you bastard.
This is it. It's like, yeah.
Women as well. You're like, out of here. I never got this scene. This is just the stupidest thing in the whole film. It really is.
The New Year's party.
So yeah, fuck you. I might be low on order, but I am so gonna shoot the head off you. Oh.
It's the fact she kisses him on the visor, right?
I know, she won't even kiss him on the lips, So, yeah.
I like that shot though. I love the behind the top. Yeah, right. Oh, it's so good.
And he's still quite small because he's eye level with Miguel Ferrer, who's a very small man.
Yeah.
It's like,
I love the tease here, You get that brief shot in the monitor, but like, what does he look like?
Oh man, that's amazing.
Yeah. This guy cracks me up, this fucking trunk. It's such a great bit of dialogue.
So the funny thing about that, I've just had a look. Peter Weller is actually 6'1.5".
Wow.
In real life. So that shot was not 6 foot.
Completely wrong. Yeah.
So being a robot, he's had how much taken off his butt.
They've sawed his legs off. Yeah.
I love that bit with the glass.
Yeah.
It is beautiful.
Oh, fantastic. And again, it's just pushing back the reveal, pushing it back, and the sound.
Still don't see his face.
Yeah. The noise of the legs and the feet hitting the ground.
And them acting exactly like school children, going, "What the fuck is it, man?
What's going on?" Yeah, totally. That's great. And the movement, fucking hell, man. And it's the combination of movement and sound, right? I mean, the sound design is just killer.
Oh, look at that tracker. 80s tracker.
It's kind of like an iPod, right? That looks just so gross.
The future of coffee.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what is that?
But he quite likes it.
Yeah. He's a fun character, Johnson. I really kind of like, he doesn't get a huge amount to do, but I really enjoy him. And this is, again, storytelling, right? So you're establishing what he's doing, but also I think everything you see in the sequence comes back later, and maybe not the voice stress analyzer, but everything else does. You know, like the record playback, that's a key point.
Yeah.
The targeting computer is, you know, they're fighting the cocaine factory, all of this stuff.
But now with policemen who have to wear body cams all the time, you know, that was, you know, that's a thing that's only really been pushed at in the last, you know, 4 or 5 years, maybe, not that much longer.
Sure.
It's been compulsory for all these, you know, the I can't breathe moments, Black Lives Matter. You know, this is another thing that fucking RoboCop was absolutely ahead of the curve on.
Yeah, right. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because in the movie, it's kind of the assumption is that because they've got the ability to, because everything he sees is recorded, it's admissible as evidence, and that's a good thing for the cops, right? But in real life,
rather than a bad thing, you know, so because the cops have to be, you know,
they actually have to behave themselves.
The law.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very much a double-edged sword. Yeah.
And why are you walking in front of?
That is such a fucking cool gun, though.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
No way could a magazine ever hold that.
You know, yeah, it's like it's the ultimate extended clip, isn't it? It's like. There's the spin. How fucking cool is that leg holster too, man? That is just the shit. I remember that was the point as a kid where I was like, I can't build a RoboCop suit because I could never do the leg holster.
Yeah, you could never put a gun in your leg.
Exactly. So, like, what's the point? Here's a fun bit of trivia. That key catch, that took 50 takes.
Why?
Because his hand is made out of rubber.
Oh, bless him.
Can you imagine?
Oh, God. You have to feel sorry for everybody involved in that one, don't you, really? So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, God. Oh, fuck. Drop that again.
Yeah, it just bounced off his fucking hand. Like, oh, my God. Why would you do that?
Why couldn't they have just covered his hand in some, like, nice velvet cloth or something?
Right. Yeah, the hand's so prominent in the shot. Yeah, I don't know. Authenticity, I guess.
Oh, this is brilliant.
Yep.
Fucking love this so much. Look at all the Thor comics and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, it's great. Absolutely brilliant. I love how quickly this guy goes from 0 to like 1,000 as well. It's like He's so psychotic straight away.
Oh. Yeah, is it? Oh.
He's just bonkers. He's just completely like. I mean, why are you giving him a 3 count? What possible good can that do? Oh.
And that is the most fucking stupid looking gun on the planet. It's just
what even is? I don't even know what that gun is, man. I don't even know what it is.
Straight into the fridge.
God damn. You're right, though. That is the voice.
But the thing is, you would have thought that he would have arrested him, dragged him into the car. You know what I mean? Yeah, fuck it, I'll just leave him. He might get
incapacitated. Threats.
Oh, here we. This for me is bit when he shoots her, you know, between the legs and gets him. I think is one of the best shots of the whole 1980s in film. It is just pinpoint. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's like the emasculation. Well, it's like the emasculation of himself almost, because he's not got a cock anymore.
No,
you know what I mean? You know, he's like, you know, a robot, and he's kind of, I don't know. It's almost like he's, yeah. If you can't have one, I can't have one. I know that it sounds crude, but
yeah. And yet there is a pragmatism to it.
Yeah.
You know, because he's got to take the shot, and it is the most efficient way.
It is the best shot.
Getting past the hostage to the target. Oh,
even that on her skirt, that's quite a high shot. You know, that looks like it may have grazed a couple of
yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
she's gonna remember that sensation, I think. Probably not in a good way.
Then it's lower down on that shot. That's a weird one.
Look at that billboard, though.
Yeah, the future has a silver lining, and his name is Robocop.
It's just so good.
Amazing.
I love the score as well. The Robocop march is just.
Have you got it on soundtrack?
No, I haven't.
You're gonna have to get that, man.
I am. It's on the list.
Just imagine the writing that you could do just listening to the
Robocop score. Yeah. Mainly bad Robocop pastiches. I think is the main problem. Well, it's the problem with that as well is like Robocop's still such a live property. I mean, I deny the existence of any sequels or, you know, remakes or any of that. But I know that
you have told me off before about talking about the other Robocops.
Yeah, no, they don't exist. But you know,
especially the Canadian television series.
Which, you know, just saying that out loud.
Well, come on, we have to, you know, mention 2 Canadian television series, 2 cartoons, 1 sequel, and 1 reboot. You know, so,
God, I'm glad none of them happened. That would have sucked.
You know, and that alternate parallel.
Exactly, that alternate parallel universe where George W. Bush won 2 terms and then they elected Trump. I'm glad none of that shit happened. What a shitty timeline that'd be to live in. Fuck all that. I'm so glad we got President Gore. Everything's fine.
You know, it's a 31-year-old film now.
Yep.
And you know, it's like, and I'm fucking what? How old am I? I'm 42. So. You know, it just defies logic that something.
I know.
I know we talk about a lot of futuristic films. This is futuristic in the fact that, you know, it's in the future, but it doesn't seem too far off in the future.
No.
You know, it's you know, unlike Blade Runner with flying cars and all that fucking, you know, idiocy. You know, it seems like this seems like a real grounded, you know, thing that could feasibly happen.
Well, it feels to me like it's set no more than a decade after it was made. I mean, it feels to me like it was set in a prediction late 90s, basically. You know what I mean? From 87. Because I mean, they couldn't have predicted the end of the Cold War, to be fair, because no one knew that was going to happen until the wall came down. Everyone was saying, "Oh, that's going to be, a generation at least." God, I love that so much. The cut from the guy being punched to in front of that window. Green Cross
Coat man, always use the green cross coat. And that's another role that David Prowse missed out on.
There you go, poor guy. That is such a passingly weird fact of our collective childhood, isn't it? That Darth Vader and the Green Cross Coat guy were the same guy.
One of the same, yeah.
That's just you couldn't make that shit up, could you?
The Green Cross Code Man has a West County accent, and they said that Britain was kind of regionalist. No, they weren't. They might have been for the news, but when it came down to fucking not being knocked over by cars or vans,
that's right.
Always use your Green Cross code. But look at Nukem. That is it's almost like virtual reality that we have in a way. I'll tell you what, they were properly. I wonder if they had futurists. I wonder if they had futurists when they, because Blade Runner did, Alien did, famously. What life would be like in the future. I would be surprised if they didn't with this film.
I mean, there's a couple of things that I think they absolutely nail. One of them is USB, because Robocop's fist spike is USB.
Yeah.
I mean, the appearance is wrong, but the principle is completely correct.
Oh, God, yeah. But then, Devil's Advocate, R2-D2 had that in fucking Star Wars.
Yeah, that's fair.
When he goes...
Yeah. No, that's fair. The other thing this does do is DVD.
Yes.
Because you've got Dick Jones. Oh, look at that shot. What maniac comes up with that?
Just a pervert.
I mean, that is... Oh, God, that is...
He's built up his trousers.
Yeah, there's a script saying POV toilet stall, hairy leg in foreground. I mean, it's just brilliant. I think what I love about that is it's actually a very mundane thing that you never see on a cinema screen, and yet it's part of everyone's life. I really love that. Oh, God. This is great, though, man. This is fucking hell, this confrontation.
Thank you.
But I love, you can see that he's playing it cool. He's not really cool.
But if you look behind him, the mirror behind him as well, so it's almost like, the eternity mirrors.
Right.
There's no camera in that shot. God. And that is a very fucking brave shot to do.
Yeah.
That's, very cool.
That's a great setup, isn't it? I love the acting in this, though, man. I love these two. It's one of my favorite lines in the movie, this one. Who cares if it works or not? Love that. That is that is the corporate thing.
Yeah, well, that's it. Even nowadays, who cares if it works?
Yeah.
Well, that's why we have disposable, things with shelf lives of only a couple of years now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Your phone dies after a year.
No, I mean, I got a B&O record player that used to belong to my grandma, and it's it was made in 1974, and it came with a manual teaching you how to repair it.
Yeah.
If this breaks, you can replace it with one of these. And what even comes with a manual anymore? You know what I mean? Let alone one that says start by opening up the box and then poking about the computer. What the fuck,
But this is very, I think there's sexual tension between these two.
So much.
You know what I mean? It's
so much.
So very, the young buck trying to do the old dog.
Absolutely. Yeah. I tell you what, you play that song with the sound. You play that scene with the sound off.
Yeah.
You know, it looks like it's going somewhere very different.
I wish she had a bigger role than what she did.
The woman with the glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's very popular. It's funny because this is episode 18, I think, of the show I've done now, or 19. And she is very beloved.
Yeah.
Almost everyone at some point goes, you know, she's great.
Well, she's the caretaker, isn't she, really? You know,
yeah.
Here we go.
And she's clearly a scientist, right? She's clearly a very bright woman.
Yeah.
Heavily involved in this project. God, I love this sequence.
We only know that she's a scientist because she wears glasses, Kit. Fuck's sake. Come on.
No, she also wears a lab coat and she carries a red pen. So that's conclusive. And
they're obviously not scientists because they drink Coca-Cola and eat fucking burgers.
They're at McDonald's, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh, look at all that black ink. That's got to be bad news.
Look at that. He's fucking off on one.
Oh, he's pissed now, Rog.
But like, what I love is that the Matrix stole so heavily from RoboCop with the fucking thing in the back, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the back of the head. Yeah,
the back of the head, yeah.
Yeah, I just saw it in that shot really clearly, yeah.
Oh, and that's never really kind of focused upon at all, is it?
No. No, it's just, it's just a background piece of design.
It's just done.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Look at that shot, man.
Yeah. Well, it's Laird Barrett.
Oh man, I shouldn't. No, I'm gonna get in trouble. We're not talking about Laird Barrett. I'm not getting myself in trouble. Remind me when we finish. Here's Nancy Allen though, and this is great. Look at this 2-shot, man.
Yeah,
just straightforward. So good. Because this is it. This is where he starts waking up.
Yeah.
We've had the kind of RoboCop Judge Dredd bit, and now it's like...
He stands back, but the face still doesn't move.
No.
Oh, amazing.
God, the movement. Because he's selling the weight of the suit. That's the thing, because the suit's just fiberglass. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because obviously...
And automatically it's her fault for saying something. He fucking paid of his own violation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What did you say? Like, fuck you, man.
You just sat there stuffing your face with chicken nuggets.
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah. It's always the fucking wanker in the suit. And now we're like fucking Miguel Ferrer just chewing out. It's like, it's nothing to do with these fucking guys. So good. No, it is, because this is shit rolls downhill corporate culture in a nutshell, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
Blame it on the grunts. First thing to do, find someone to blame when shit goes down.
Yeah, well, it's not our fault. We're in our gilded ivory towers. You know, we can't possibly.
We wear really big glasses. It's nothing to do with us.
Oh. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I hate you, motherfucker.
Yeah. No, that's Robert DeQuay. What a fucking moment that is. That look over the shoulder. It's like, if looks could kill, mate.
This guy's a serious asshole.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, good shot. Ah, shell.
Oh, and this is So someone was telling me, I can't remember who. Apparently, the guy working in the gas station here is an insert for Verhoeven. He said that this was apparently the guy doing geometry is the Verhoeven insert in the film, which I really love. I love the idea that Verhoeven sees himself fundamentally as this like super nerdy college kid.
Misunderstood.
Yeah.
Mathematician.
Well, and also just not macho in any way, right? Just, you know. Oh, this is so fun. And also, like, the logic of this just makes me laugh. Like, this guy is so obsessed with being a criminal, like he can't even just, like, he just did a massive robbery, he's got cash, but he has to steal the gas.
But the funny
right?
thing is,
It's like, what?
well, the funny thing is, doesn't he have to get the because it's the future? Doesn't the dude doing the gas have to press a button to allow the gas to go into the bike? This is what we have to do when we go to Tesco's nowadays.
Yeah.
You have to wait like fucking lemons for them to go, yeah, you can have your petrol now.
Yeah. Well, they didn't predict, obviously, that you'd be able to do the pay at the pump and you actually wouldn't need a pause.
And that is the bit from there, isn't it? From the cover of the...
Yep. Oh, yeah, him getting out of the car. Yeah, that's the shot. Yeah. God, this sequence. I know, that's a great bit of acting too, I think. The bad guy in this scene does a really good job. He's got to do a lot with like 2 lines, basically.
Yeah.
And he does a really great job. It's all in the face. It's good stuff.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Why would you fucking shoot with that going all over the place? And look,
it's a fucking Uzi.
Red Diesel, it's illegal, man. Oh, he's out.
Oh yeah, yeah. Pull the home and it escapes. Now this is a fucking explosion, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh shit. And this stunt,
quite just quite interesting. You know that I did the amazing stuff. You know, I did the commentary for Firestarter not that long ago.
Yeah.
And Firestarter was, what was it, 87 or whatever? They designed a much thinner fireproof suit during the making of that film, which carried on into quite a lot of stuff. So Robocop could have theoretically been one of the first films to have, you know, kind of used the whole fireproof suits that Firestarter built on, the people that built Firestarter.
Oh, that's interesting. So yeah. So that was an innovation, was it, to make the burns?
When Firestarter got to the fireproof suit, obviously it'd been used in films like The Burning and stuff.
Yeah.
But they made the fireproof suit a quarter of an inch, or no, 3/4 of an inch thinner than what it originally was.
Right.
And they also were the first to do fireproof face masks that actually looked like the people that were being burned as well. So, like, just say that you had somebody, you know, had an actor who's been burned alive, they would have used his, you know, composite face mask that looked like him while he was being burned. So, yeah, it was very, very innovative for them. And look, it's the R2D2 fucking
yeah. And also an interface that looks exactly like Windows 8. I think that's fucking spooky. By which I mean, of course, it's shit. But you know.
Yeah. But Windows 10 is shitter.
Yeah, well, yeah, true in some ways, yeah. But
there he is, Clarence Booker.
You're right about the burn suits, though. It's interesting because I was thinking about, as you were saying, I rewatched the first Elm Street recently, and like, you know, there's a full body burn in that, but like, the guy is clearly the wrong shape. He's clearly bigger and rounder.
Bulky.
You know. Yeah. God, that's great. It's a really horrible photo of Kurtwood Smith too. He looks like a proper scumbag.
And now you've discovered where you live.
And that you're dead.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's great. And I love the way the score drops to that. It sounds like a flatlining monitor.
A flatline.
Yeah. Fucking brilliant, man. It's that attention to detail. Like, that's something you won't even spot maybe the first few times you watch it.
No.
But it just subconsciously, it all feeds into the mood. You know, it's all part of the same thing. Brilliant. And this sequence, now, this is the only real bit of the entire film where it slows down, where the pacing slows down. Because everything else is completely breakneck up to this point and from this point. But I love the way they just really take the time for this. because it's like this is the emotional core of the film right here. You know, this is the moment when he really starts to remember who he was.
But like the strange thing about this, with the computer at the door and stuff, I kind of foresee the use of tablets, you know, for like conference calls and all that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah.
You know, and this was years before. Oh shit! What was that film? Sly Stallone's Demolition Man, that kind of used the same idea of, you know, people around conference tables and all that shit. So yeah, in many ways, in very subtle ways, this is it's on it. It really is on it.
Yeah, no, it's really impressive. I'm gonna have to look into what you said, see if they had a
motion
futurist.
sensor, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
When you move into a new room, so yeah.
And you would, like, you know, you can imagine where they'd pay some semi-famous actor to record the video bits, because you could do that at that point. It would make economic sense to have the guy retainer. It's really, no, I love it. It's a great sequence. And again, the use of static for the flashbacks.
Yeah. Look at that Polaroid. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's, although, you know, actually you could argue they got lucky with that, because Polaroids did come back into fashion, didn't they, a few years ago?
Yeah.
They actually do still exist, so it kind of fluked that.
What I love is that evil demonic puppet in the background of the three of them.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that before? Oh man, that's just brilliant.
No, it's great. And this sequence now, look at how much acting Murphy, look at how much acting the guy does here, Weller does, with just 2 inches of jaw.
Yeah.
And body language.
He's moving fast now. He's like, yeah, fuck you. Where's the toilet? I really need to poo. Oh, man.
Now, this nightclub is way better than the one in Terminator. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Way better.
But then I've watched, I don't know, I'm kind of drawn to films with really shitty nightclub scenes. And I've still not seen a good film with a good nightclub scene. And my fascination with them started with Michael Reeves as the Sorcerers, with Ian Ogilvy and Boris Karloff. Ian Ogilvy's in this really bad nightclub. And I don't know, there's like, lots of 60s and 70s films that, even Kindergarten Cop has that horrible. So Arnold Schwarzenegger now has been in 2 films with really crap scenes in them. You know, Terminator and fucking Kindergarten Cop.
Kindergarten Cop. Yeah.
Kindergarten Cop, which is another one of the all-time best films of all time. So
you love it, Kindergarten Cop.
Okay.
I
love it. Yeah.
It's been a very long time since I've seen that, to be fair.
He's just perfect in that film. He is just, Oh, look at that, Miguel Ferrer.
There he is.
Snorting. Oh, upskirt. That's illegal. Fuck's sake. No,
that's still legal. Thanks to the Conservatives.
Yeah, you Tory motherfucking.
What the fuck is that? Honestly.
What the fuck was that all about?
The party of family values. What the fuck is that?
I would really hope that his daughter is old enough to just take that motherfucker to task. And
do you know what I mean?
Get a fucking Father's Day card this year. You know what I mean? Because that's, you know.
What a wanker. Well, that's a reference that's going to date really well.
Yeah. You'll be like, what, you know.
People will know what week this was recorded, won't they?
Yeah.
The only week in which that news story was a thing. He's so great in this scene, though.
Yes.
Because this is like, oh, Jesus.
But those 2 girls are really cool as well. I'm like,
bro.
Fucking I love you. Bye.
Yeah. Well, I also love that moment when he goes to the door and they just
like,
hold hands and start talking.
No, obviously not.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. God damn. Now here's a fun thing. I was talking to someone that said, here's the DVD, by the way, there it is. But I was talking to someone about this, and I was talking about, like, you're a bit surprised it doesn't bleed out, because that's, you know, 4 leg wounds, that's pretty bad. But someone did point out to me cocaine is a coagulant.
Is it?
Apparently.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it does make sense. But look at the makeup around his eyes. He looks like he's going into shock.
Yeah.
It's fucking brilliant.
And I love it how he has a bit of cocaine as well. He's like, yeah.
Of course he does. He's a fucking villain, man. I remember thinking this was pretty much the most villainous thing I'd ever seen when I saw this scene, by the way. The idea that you'd record yourself.
A grenade with a slow release timer.
Yeah. All of it.
Let's just get the DVD finished.
Yeah.
You know, with a digital display.
Oh, it's fucking horrific, man. And he almost gets there.
You know, and the smug look on his face. He doesn't even know if he's got away with blowing him up, you know? At the last second, he could have thrown it out the fucking window. And then what happens, you know? Is he dead yet? Do I just keep on looking and face the camera? I have no idea.
But to be fair, I think he could hold that smug grin for like 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah,
I think he's capable of it, you know? That's so great. And I think as well, from here on in, by the way, it's just great scene followed by great scene. Because this sequence, I fucking love this.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, it's hysterically funny, and then it's one of the greatest sort of shootout action sequences of the 80s, I think.
So yeah, and did you know about the Richard Nixon connection to RoboCop?
I didn't, and I demand you tell me about it immediately.
Right, so seemingly RoboCop had the endorsement of President Nixon. I found this photograph of Nixon standing next to RoboCop, but it's not Peter Weller in the Robo suit.
Right.
It was part of the movie's VHS release. RoboCop escorts the former US president to a charity event for something called the Boys Club of America. I have no idea.
Oh my God.
$25,000 was donated to the Boys Club on behalf of Nixon and Orion Home Video. So the man that was fucking, you know, responsible for Watergate and being one of the shittiest presidents of America, although Trump beats him on that, you know, standing next to an actor in a RoboCop suit is just...
That may be the most amazing thing I've ever heard. That's just incredible. I need that photo in my life. That's just astonishing.
Well, here I've got a copy of the photo.
Yeah, bung it over to me, man. That will be the placeholder image for at least this episode, if not, frankly, the rest of the series.
That needs to be that is Facebook holder image. You know what I mean? Your profile picture.
Yeah. No, that's huge. Because one of the first podcasts I did was on JFK and Nixon. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Is it targeting? 3 targets, 4 targets. I love it.
It's awesome.
This is amazing. It also predates computer games in a massive way. You know, just
big time.
This is amazing.
That's that guy's only line, by the way. Fuck you. It's literally his only line in the film.
But what line to have?
Yeah. No, it's a great moment. And this is a well choreographed action sequence, man. This is absolutely fucking brilliant.
And I love it how they're wearing the dust masks, you know, to be safe from the cocaine, but not safe from a bullet.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. But there's a funny touch here, actually, where the workers are wearing masks to protect them from the cocaine, but most of the armed guards are not.
Yeah.
And
so they're going to be fucking absolutely high off their tits. Yeah.
So everyone with an Uzi is going to be wired as fuck, because that's what you want in a cocaine factory.
And the thing is, so is RoboCop to some extent. You know what I mean? He's going to be off his fucking tree.
You know what I love about that? Maybe that explains why he breaks programming and throws Dick Jones through those windows.
Yeah.
I've never been able to figure that out because it's always felt a bit hinky to me, but maybe you've cracked it. I like that.
He's fucking just off his craw.
Because there is a lot of cocaine in the air at this point.
Yeah.
That's great. I love it. That explains why he does that casual shooting. Yeah, that's it. He's off his nut. There it is. Oh, Jesus. That's brilliant. Also explains why Kurtwood Smith thinks he can make that jump.
Yeah.
It's so fucking high. He's like, yeah, I can fly, motherfucker. Oh, no. Oh, you've got to love it, man.
Did you see how the window was actually smashed before he went through it?
It breaks
really
like a
cool.
quarter second before he hits it. Yeah. I love how fucked up he looked. The makeup job on this is great.
Yeah.
His deterioration through the windows is really, really well done. God, it's good though.
And the trees behind him.
State of his face now, though. Look at that. Yeah. Yes. There's that horrible kind of grinding, cracking noise as well. It's like, what is he doing, man?
But Isaac Asimov's, Rule of Robots and stuff, it's all that as well.
Yeah.
Very, very.
No, it's got a good pedigree, all that, hasn't it? Yeah. I remember actually
Terminator doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Totally get rid of Isaac Asimov's rules. This is,
Yeah. Well, actually, I watched
and him on the left with the fucking moustache. Where do I know him from?
What, the union rep guy?
Yeah, with the moustache.
Yeah.
He's been in some stuff, and I cannot for the fucking life of me. I'm gonna have to go into IMDb just to see if we can see his face.
Sure. No, look him up, man. I was just saying, I was watching this, one of the podcasts I recorded watching this with my old man, and he described it as the laws of robocopics, which I thought was quite a cute way of putting it.
Aha. He is Mike. Is he Mike Morales? Oh, no, maybe not. I have no idea.
Mike Morales, maybe.
Doesn't matter. Let's get back to it. Right.
And what I like about this is story-wise, it's like kind of the film's over. He's found out who the real bad guy is. He's going to arrest him.
And look at that tower. It's like High Rise almost, It's like the Ben Wheatley film. It was like he looked at that and went, yeah, I'm just going to pinch that High Rise. It is a very Ballardian kind of film, isn't it, really?
Yeah, in some ways it is, absolutely. Yeah. It's got that level of I mean, it's a really
degradation of humanity. Yeah.
Well, and just it's a really biting satire, isn't it?
Yeah.
Love
me, I love this film.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
There's so many like iconic. I mean, there's iconic design, but there's also so many iconic shots. I mean, RoboCop in the left there is just
and the use of lights around big pillars and stuff. That's so futuristic, but now it's just commonplace nowadays.
Yep.
And almost the MC Escher, reflection ball there as well.
Oh, it's great. Absolutely great. I love that black globe on its desk.
Yeah,
love that. It's just an amazing object, and it feels very corporate too. It feels like Dick Jones would have a black globe. Oh, here we go.
Oh no!
Oh dear!
I'm having a fight with myself.
Such a great twist, man. Director for. So that's the law of robotics, but there's an extra one which is thou shalt not try and arrest the man.
Oh yeah.
Like,
thou shalt not shit on thy own doorstep.
Indeed. Or the man will fuck you up good. It's great. It's so brutal. It's so brutal.
Because you genuinely think that this could be the end of the film,
Yep.
Got to the bad guy and that's it. But no.
Yeah. No. And I love the fact as well that it demonstrates how devious Dick Jones is, because he snuck this into the program, and even Bob Morton doesn't know about Directive 4.
No, yeah.
Right? This is a Dick Jones thing. So he's clearly really good at corporate espionage, And then that shot, man, where he walks in darkness and then the light comes on. Fucking hell. And then it walks past Dick Jones, and that, oh, fucking hell. I love this so much. Look at the state of RoboCop now, man. Look at that shot
already, doesn't it?
Yeah. He is fucked up. And the amazing job it does of selling the effect, right, of this, you know, stop motion with physical.
Yeah.
And yet by now, when he grabs the gun there, you buy it. Oh. This is fucking filmmaking, man. You know, like...
This is beautiful. This is really quite something.
Yeah. And there's some... I do still think there's something about when you're forced to work at the edge of what the limitations allow, that's when the real genius happens.
Yeah, but you know, the budget is
yeah.
These fucking rockets are amazing.
Yeah, they're brilliant. So good. And it's like, and it's also like, this is the first time we've seen RoboCop. Like up to now, he's been invulnerable, right? But suddenly,
yeah, and now he's oh, here we go.
Here we go.
I am a Dalek.
What I love is the way it, like, it's almost like its shoulders go up, like it's nervous.
Yeah,
it's brilliant. Like,
but like, because this is in the future, you know, people know that Daleks can't go up and down stairs. So why the fuck?
I think what I love about it is it ties in with the early,
like a fucking giraffe that's being slaughtered.
Oh, it's horrible. But I love the way it ties back to that earlier line about who cares if it works, right?
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, this is crappy corporate design. Yeah, it's got all the guns, but it can't actually handle stairs. That feels like, yeah, that is the kind of design flaw fuck up they do. I love this. I love the fact that the cops from his precinct won't do it. Yeah. But the SWAT guy who he made look like an idiot at the hostage negotiation, he's like, yeah, let's fucking shoot him. So good. God damn. I would love to know how many blank rounds were used in the making of this film.
What they should have done here was they should have paused the scene. I think this is too much, to be fair. Right. I always think that they should have paused the scene like they did in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. You know, when they start getting shot, and then it just pauses, and then it can fade to black, and then go to the different screen. We know that he's getting shot to shit, and we know that he is, you know, he's not Terminator. You know, in Terminator. Yeah. You know, it's all metal. We know that there is human in this machine. So at some point, you know, he's just going to be fucked up. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, anything with any level of organics is going to be struggling at this point. I like the way he escapes, though. I love that kind of that roll through the layers. And again, it looks really painful, right? Yeah. It looks really like
and not one face shot.
No. Well, they are. Yeah, they're not. They are Detroit police.
However, I do like how the police red light shines on the oil and it looks like blood. That is a nice touch I hadn't noticed before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're just going to shoot on a female. Oh, look at this.
This is so Verhoeven as well, isn't it? Like the sheer fucking cheek of this.
The first time I watched it, go, what the fuck's just happened?
Yeah.
You know, I honestly thought that another film had been recorded. Yeah. You know, kind of halfway through it. But yeah, it's so Starship Troopers. You know, he was like predating himself with Starship Troopers as well.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
No, it's cheeky as fuck, man. I love it. And then when the advertising hoarding comes in at the end on that final shot, and you're like, oh right, okay. We're back with the broadcast. So great. And this, you know, the prediction that the Star Wars peace platform would be built and then would misfire. It's like, yeah.
Yeah,
you could see why you'd think that. I love that. I look at that.
Like the old Carloco. Doesn't it look like the old Carloco fucking insignia that used to come at the start of videos?
Yeah,
I'm sure it was Carloco. Wait a minute. Yeah.
I know the one you mean. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I love that. It's so like, it's a great logo.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels
Carloco.
like yeah. I love this guy. That guy's my profile picture on Facebook sometimes. I love that guy.
As he should be.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that unemployed person as the script. Just that always, I don't know why, but that always cracks me up. It's great. Oh yes, here we go. The Clarence Boddicker pickup move. He's such a scumbag.
Why, thank you. You can take my chewing gum and put it in your mouth.
You can keep the gum.
Yeah. Go on, eat it. Stick it in your mouth. Really slowly.
So he's still blowing her kisses as he shuts the door. Such a scumbag. They only get this one scene together, these two.
I know.
Again, I think that's a testament to the efficiency of the storytelling. But I just, oh God, this is so good. Someone else was saying to me, one of the things that's so great about this film is the way the power dynamic shifts so often.
Yeah.
In almost in every scene, it's constantly in flux between the two characters.
Yeah.
And this is a great example of that. The power dynamic between these two is constant push-pull the whole time. You know, firstly, he's all, you know, Clarence is like, fuck you, I don't have to do this. And then Dick's like, yeah, okay. Like now he's saying like, yeah, but I can make you the money.
Yeah.
And the way Clarence just stops mid-step.
But then we're watching this knowing that Dick has already lost the power play once and had to get it back through, you know, kind of brutal means by hiring. So yeah, it's
good stuff.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. And I have this constant refrain about who are these two people to each other? You know, how did they? Because they've clearly got some kind of relationship. You know what I mean?
Some history, yeah.
And it's great because it's. I mean, you don't need to know for the film to work, so they don't bother.
Playing a Game Boy, or is that an iPod?
No, that's the. Yeah, it doesn't get. God, it's exactly the right shape for a Game Boy.
16 gigabyte iPod, with video streaming. What I do like about this film, I know it's an 80s film, but I like the suits and I like what everybody's wearing. It doesn't seem, you know, I know the baddies are wearing some garish fucking outfits, but I love the cuts. Nancy Allen's suit looks like something that you know that you would get nowadays on the street. You know, it's almost proper combat wear.
Well, I mean, one of the things that the film arguably predicted, right, is the militarization of the US police.
Yeah.
Because that has happened. You know, I mean, I think we've been relatively lucky in the UK. We've kind of resisted the move, but in the US, it's gotten really fucking bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Oh God! Look at the state of him now.
I love it how she was back to the police station and steal a new gun.
Yeah.
She was last seen escaping from the police station. So yeah. So see this bit here. This makes more sense with that thing that was plugged into the back of his head. You know, when I went, you know, it was like the Matrix.
Yep.
Yeah, it's OCP. Yeah. So because that's his mainframe, that's where the fucking the everything happens.
Yep.
And I'd never noticed it until that bit when he had left the seat. I always thought it was just a head holder, but
no, it's a port, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a port, isn't it?
I love this.
Yeah.
This effect shot is fucking stupefyingly good, I think. And again, there's the tease, right? You get the distorted mirror before you get the real thing. Oh, Jesus. This is, oh, God, look.
That's the name.
Yeah.
and it builds on the work that was done with Darth Vader and Return of the Jedi.
Yep.
But absolutely, goes well. That was past. This is what we can do right now.
Yeah.
And with practical effects, I know CGI route this time, and it just wouldn't look as. Oh, it just looks fantastic.
Yeah. You would never build that now.
Yeah, although I am watching this on VHS, so the picture is a very soft one anyway. So, I've not seen this on Blu-ray at all, or I don't even know if it's out on 4K yet, but I wonder what the effects would be like on such a high clarity picture.
Yeah.
If you would notice them a mile off, or, they just wouldn't be as, kind of prescient.
I can't speak to Blu-ray. I mean, I've watched it on,
yeah.
I mean, I've watched it on DVD a lot, and it looks amazing to me, that shot on DVD. I mean, yeah, it would be interesting to see it. I'd love to see it in 4K, but I mean, my instinct is it'd work, because I just think they nailed it. I think it's just, I think, and it's almost like the peak of physical effects, because you would never build that now. You digitize, it would actually be cheaper to do it digitally than to build it. Never mind the time you'd save with the fucking setup of the shot. I mean, how long he had to spend in makeup to get that shot? It's just absurd, But I think it looks incredible. I think
it's brilliant. And I think it's possibly one of the only times that practical special effects look that beautiful and good. Maybe up until Jurassic Park in '93, it was that Absolutely. Was when big next leap happened, with regards to that.
Yeah. No, it's that level, isn't it? It's that level of quality, absolutely. Yeah, no, that fucking Triceratops in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, the poorly Triceratops.
Oh.
However, we were, I started watching it today with the wee one.
Right.
She got really scared a little bit in, and we were kind of beginning to watch it, and the bit when the little dinosaur pushes itself out the egg is noticeably fake nowadays. So is the bit when they're flying on the helicopter towards the island. It just looks like they're in a little box and the box is being moved about. And that was the first time I'd ever noticed that, and I was so disappointed because the rest of the film is so beautifully done.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh man, you should have just put them in a real helicopter and fucking flown them across a river or something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No,
I mean,
I rewatched that one. Actually, funnily enough, I watched it in the last couple of weeks with the little one as well. I mean, Scarlett's, I think, a couple of years older, but and it was. I mean, that film really does. Overall, that film holds up, man. That is astonishing piece of work. And again, the pacing, the storytelling, and that is just ridiculous.
It's very, very good. Apart from Dickie Attenborough's Scottish accent as John Hammond. What was that all about? You know what I mean? It's like Marnie was like, "Oh, he sounds like you, Daddy. He's Scottish." I was like, "That is not a fucking Scottish accent." Oh, God.
Was it they call it Mockney or something like? Yeah. Not good.
Scotney.
Yeah.
Oh. Adult books. Why did they blow up an adult bookshop?
I don't know. And why did it explode as badly as it did? That's the bit I can't really think.
You know what I mean? Must have been all the batteries and the vibrators, man.
Could be. My theory was there was a big store of amyl nitrate.
Poppers.
Yeah. Because that'll go up, right?
Oh, here we go.
Yep.
And this scene always reminds me. Sorry for going back to Total Recall again, but when he's in the bit when he's fucking sorting himself out with the rat and the Mars bar after he's got rid of the Johnny Cab figure. Yep. It's that bit of self-recognition and self, kind of realization what has to be done and how he has to do it. Yeah, that's a kind of small theme that crops up in quite a lot of these films.
Yeah. Well, and that's Verhoeven specifically, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
Oh.
You're shooting babies, man.
The other thing I like about this is how it's, it's Nancy Allen's character who sorts him out here,
Yeah. She's guiding him. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's like, and there is a level. it goes beyond, you know, kind of comradeship here. It's a very deeply moving, intimate kind of, you know, scene.
Well, this is like, I mean, at this point, this is the only thing that he's good at, and she gets him back to where he needs to be at that. I mean, that's really, and I mean, but the other thing is like the physical intimacy of that scene, the fact that 99 times out of 100 in an action movie, the gender roles are reversed there. It's the guy. I mean, that scene of the guy teaching the girl how to do whatever, you know, shoot a gun or play tennis or, you know, and it's always like really pervy. But that, just by inverting the power relationship or inverting the gender roles.
To the gun before he got out the van, you'd have thought that being strapped to carrying that gun, you'd have to do some fucking weird maneuvering to get out. But he managed it so amazingly.
Yeah. Oh, I love this sequence. Here we go. Yeah.
And it's almost like a Vietnam patrol, isn't it? You know?
Yeah. You know what? That's interesting because I always think of this as the Western sequence, but you're right. There is definitely a Vietnam vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's Western though, isn't it? They make the noise in the other direction.
Waste your bullets.
Yeah. That's great.
Okay.
There we go. One down, 4 to go. Someone else pointed out to me one of the smart things about this gang, because they've all got a different look. They're easily identifiable, even though you might not even know all their names. Because, like, I don't even know the name of Ray Wise's character, but you know who they are within the gang because they all look so different. It's very, very clever filmmaking again. Oh, he didn't stick that turn though. Oh yes.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Best bit. Out of the way. Can't you see it's toxic waste?
Did you spot that subtle clue?
You know, and their kit, right? There's the origin story of the Joker and Batman.
There it is. There it is. Yeah.
But I love it how he was in his seat and he was swept out.
Yeah.
Was he wearing a seatbelt when he was driving? Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
Condoms for fingers.
Fucking hell.
Toxic Avenger.
And how many hours in the chair for that shot?
I know.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah. Everything's cooking now. The score, the editing, the stunt work. It's all coming together.
Yeah.
And
he's a chicken.
Yep.
He should have just plowed into her and that would have changed it completely.
Yeah. Little bullet reference.
Yeah. Oh, what the
fuck? Oh my god. Oh look, it's fucking eyeball and all that shit. It's just fuck's sake.
Oh, why isn't his clothes burning? If his clothes burned and he touched them, why isn't his clothes smoking? Yeah. And he doesn't even know what he's hit. He's like, oh my god, there's just some weird thing. Yeah.
Oh god. The fact that the head rolls over the bonnet of the fucking car. So gross.
Amazing.
Yeah. Here we go.
Oh, she had to be shot.
Yep. Again, though, the switching power dynamic here.
Yeah.
Here comes RoboCop. God, I love this sequence so much. You know, like when I grow up, I want to be able to write something this good.
Yeah.
Just once in my life.
He's like, yeah, I'll chew up my gum.
It's great too, he knows something RoboCop doesn't write. He knows that Ray Wise is going to hit the thing, so he's got to play for time now. Oh. That shot there.
Yeah.
Through the crane window. Oh, fucking hell. Nancy crawling towards the gun.
Oh, motherfucker. Brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, Nancy Allen don't fuck around, man.
Yeah.
Oh. I love the physicality of this, man. This is really like, oh shit.
Oh, amazing.
Yes. That is one of the great
things. Otherwise, that is one infected wound.
Yeah, one way or the other.
Yeah.
If the throat wound doesn't get him, the sepsis will. Jesus Christ.
It's like, Murphy, I'm a mess. But you're a mess? Look at fucking...
I love all that, like, arterial red, like, all over him, man.
Yeah, but see, the thing is beforehand he was bleeding oil in bits, and now he's just bleeding red everywhere. It's like, what the fuck?
Oh, no, that's
Here we
Clarence's
go.
blood. That's from the throat wound. Stay in that fucking car.
Yeah. Tonight.
Yes. Weller's face there, man.
Yeah.
Not today, motherfucker.
Can you buy Ed 209 toys?
I don't know, man. I mean,
I want to get me an Ed 209 model. I really want one.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's like the chicken running after his head's been chopped off.
Yeah.
That's just amazing.
It's that twitching toe as well. It's fucking ridiculous. So good. He's such a prick.
Oh, look at this.
Here we go. That's an 80s action movie thing too. The deterioration of the hero.
Yeah.
You know, like Indy, John McClane, they just get more and more beaten up as the film goes on. And RoboCop, look at the fucking state of him now.
One of the last films that John Wayne ever did, it was called The Shootist, and he played a cowboy with cancer.
Wow.
And he was dying of cancer at the time.
Yeah.
And it was about him, you know, wanting to go out in a blaze of glory and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, and it's a really, if you've never seen it, it's a really good film. Who else is in it? Fucking, guy that was in A Wonderful Life, Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah.
He's in it as well. And it's about the degradation and the, you know, the disintegration of a hero and an icon.
Yeah.
And he's nailing it. Here we go.
I love it. I love the way the old man works it out. You see him work it out.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
The Alan Rickman scene.
It is the inferior. I mean, the Alan Rickman is the definitive article.
Yeah.
It's
like, yeah, motherfucker, you did it.
That thumbs up is glorious.
Yeah.
The movement. Oh, Jesus.
Murphy. Oh, that little smile. Oh,
Yeah.
check it out. RoboCop.
RoboCop.
Oh.
And that, I love the contradiction of that too. He says his name's Murphy, but the next thing you see is the word RoboCop.
And what I am a bit sad is that there's no final scene between him and her.
Yeah.
You know, like that I think that would have capped it off, even if it was just driving in the car off together. You know, just back on the beat. You know, part that would have. Yes.
But hey, man, I mean, I love the kind of, I just love the efficiency of the ending. I just love the way it's just like, we're done. We've told the story. That's it. Go
That's
home.
it. Yeah. See you later. That was really good to watch that again. That was really, really good.
Yeah. This has been an extraordinary pleasure. This has been Watching Robocop with Kit Power and Johnny Mains. Johnny, thank you so much for sitting and watching Robocop with me.
Yeah, that was just that was really, that was a lot of fun, and seeing it with somebody who knows it so much and so well has just been been properly brilliant.
Well, and as the credits roll, please let the people at home know where they can find you and indeed find your work, because you are a busy man and you have many exciting projects in the works at the moment. So tell us about some of that.
So I am Cinnerman on Twitter. You can catch whatever I do there. My latest books are A Suggestion of Ghosts, which is out paperback by now by Blackshot Books, and I have a novel coming out soon called A Distasteful Horror Story, which is it's about 90s horror. Really? Look, I wrote the novel and I can't even fucking describe it. You know what I mean? It's just, this is one of those silly things. But yes, that's it.
That has to be read to be believed, and you need to do both those things. You need to read it and you need to believe it. So I've read it and it's phenomenal. So yeah, definitely go check that out. And Suggestion of Ghosts is amazing. I'm 2/3 of the way through the hardback at the moment, and that is there's some absolutely incredible ghost stories in there.
Little book, is it?
It's really good, man. The one that really got me, I mean, it's at the top of my mind right now, but there's one that's written entirely in a kind of dialect.
A Speaking Ghost by Annie Slumble, Slosson.
That's
Annie
the one.
And
there's two things that's stunning about it. One is that the dialect is just perfectly rendered, so you literally hear this person speaking in your head. But the second thing is it's such a atypical ghost story. I really love how it consciously broke the mold of being a ghost story. It said, like, I know ghosts are normally like this, or this one wasn't. It was like this.
Yeah.
It's very rooted in a very particular kind of Christian.
It's the most religious ghost story I think I've ever read in my life.
Yeah, but it's really good. I mean, it's really fucking good.
Yeah, really, really. I don't understand how I don't understand how that story has kind of, had disappeared, because it should be up there with some of the greatest ghost stories ever written.
Absolutely. No, it's incredibly moving, really powerful piece of work. So yeah, go and check out Suggestion of Ghosts is what we're saying. And go and check out Johnny's other work as well. Check out the novel when it comes out, guys, because I'm telling you that you will not believe it. I've read it and I don't believe it. So you got to read that.
Yeah, I'm quite rude to several people in there. Some with permission.
No, it's superb stuff, man. It's really great. Okay, well, thanks so much for watching Robocop with me, man. I've had an absolute blast, and I really appreciate your time.
It's been proper brilliant. Right, cheers, man.
And stopping recording.
Cool.
So that's it. That's our show. Thank you so much to Johnny for agreeing to come on and being such a fantastic guest. Had an absolute ball. Johnny's got a lot of stuff out at the moment. He's done recently did a commentary track for the Blu-ray release of Firestarter, which I thoroughly recommend. It's an incredibly entertaining commentary track on the Blu-ray release. He's also got A Suggestion of Ghosts, which is a collection of Victorian horror stories written by women from 1850 to, I'm going to forget the year, but somewhere around the turn of the century. Incredible collection of stories, many of them not been printed since their original print run back in the 1800s. Really superb book. I mean, an important book, but also a really good one that I thoroughly enjoyed. Best British Horror 2018. Another launch at FCon, as a matter of fact. I picked it up. Fantastically beautiful limited edition hardback and the paperback of that, containing just absolutely stellar stories from a collection of absolute star authors. I can't recommend that highly enough. There's a second book and a Suggestion of Ghosts coming out towards the end of the year as well, and again, the limited edition hardback's available now. I'd go and snap that up while you can, because my understanding is it's very nearly sold out already. So yeah, Johnny's a phenomenal writer, a superb editor, and I mean, if it's got his fingerprints on it, it's worth your time and money, frankly. He's a fantastic guy. So thanks again to Johnny for coming on the show. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening, for your patience while you wait these long, weeks and weeks for me to get these shows done. I am going to try and get back to a more regular schedule. I've had some IT issues that's prevented that, but I'm hoping now that those are resolved, and I certainly plan to record some more. I've met some wonderful people here this weekend who have agreed to come on the show, so scheduling permitting, hopefully we'll get a few more regular shows out before Christmas. Again, a reminder, if you want to be hearing this show before anyone else does, if you want to get this 7 days ahead at least of the general public, patreon.com/Kit Power. Get over there. For as little as $1 a month, you'll get weekly bonus content, whether that's early access to this, early access to My Life in a Horror column, exclusive access sometimes to short fiction. I read a short story here at FCon. The only other way to get hold of that short story before 2019 is to give me $1 a month on Patreon, and then you have instant access to it. And there's more exclusive and early access material going up there. Every single week is my commitment, and I am meeting that commitment every week. You will get a piece of new content from me on that site. And if you're back at $3 a month every week, you'll get to watch me write something live for 2 hours. So please do head on over to Patreon. Obviously, the money I get from that helps pay for the hosting costs for this site, and helps continue to allow me to produce content. And to those of you who are backing me on Patreon, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you again, especially for your patience with Robocop. But I hope you feel that you're getting your money's worth of that exclusive content. It's all for you guys. I can't do it without you, and it means the world to know I've got your support and that you've got my back. Thank you so much. So yeah, listen out for Watching Robocop with Kit Power, episode 20, coming to you hopefully fairly soon. And until we next speak, go Robocop.